All right, everybody. I believe we are live. Welcome to another episode of The Shit Show. I'm your host, Stacks from Stacks Farmstead, ex YouTube and Rumble. I'm going to try and make this quick. Q Bertamo is supposed to be joining us, but I'm sure he's busy running from the police or something like that right now, and he'll get back to us whenever he gets away. We're going to do the prayer real quick, and then we're going to jump into some stuff. Lord, guide my words tonight. Help us do your will now and forever. And also, help Drew heal through the process that he's in right now. Amen. All right. Drew, why don't you, because I just said that, explain to the view, say hello, and explain to the viewers very quickly what is happening.
Yes, so long story short, I had a kidney stone surgery. I had an 11 millimeter stone in my left kidney. Apparently, your urethra and your urinary tract is only 4 millimeters. So that wasn't going to pass. So the urologist, under anesthesia, all that good stuff, goes all the way up into the kidney with a tool to break up the stone.
This motherfucker.
And then inserts a stent, which is, I guess, a metal mesh straw in your urethra to expand the tract to allow you to pass all the shrapnel of the kidney stone or the shards. So I'm on day 4. Extremely painful. I'm going to save everybody the horrific, bloody details of it. I'm not a big painkiller kind of guy. I have a high pain threshold, but they had to issue me some acetaminophen and all that other good stuff from not passing out from how painful it is. So, sitting upright like this, just in the few minutes that we've been talking behind the scenes, has been the longest I've sat upright in the last several days, being that I have a foreign object touching on my prostate and my bladder, and laying flat is the preferred angle of the body. It's quite brutal.
Okay. Listen, Carson, John, we're going to get to you in a second, but I just need to tell everybody that Q is here now and apparently is running from the police.
Here's the thing, Stacks. Here's the thing. I had a little dinner I had to go to. It was unexpected, but yeah. But anywho, yeah, I'm leaving right now. Damn, these hoes. There's some bad
All
bitches
right.
out here. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie.
So this is going to be like a man on the street thing now. You're going to be.
Well,
are
I'll
you
be
gonna-
home in 15. I'll be home in 15 minutes. I'll be home
Okay.
in 15 minutes.
He's leaving at dinner is cold from the bounty hunters were chasing him out the window down the fire escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be home. I'll be home in 15. It ain't nothing.
Will you do what you need to do? You're a little hot on the mic. I don't know if anybody else is picking that up. It's a little bit loud.
Is that better?
I could still hear your tires rolling.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's probably
Do
my
you-
air conditioner. It's hot in Florida.
I bet it is. It's hot. You got the police chasing you. You know, I can imagine a lot of sweat.
Had dinner with your parole officer. You're busy.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, you know.
All right. Carson, would you please, this shit show's off to a great start. Would you please introduce yourself and tell everybody where they can find you?
Of course. I'm Carson. This guy right to the right of me is John. We run a channel called The Veritas Road, where we talk about truth and the road to truth. You can find us everywhere at The Veritas Road, except for Twitter, where we're The Veritas Road Pod. And you can find us every Tuesday, 7 p.m. for Touch Me Tuesdays, where we talk about the things that touched us that week. And then intermittently, here and there, we'll be going live with Austin Picard in a month or two. We've got a couple of shows we're scheduling, but other than that, The Veritas Road everywhere.
All right, good. John, do you want to say hello or hi or anything you want to add?
I'm John. You can find me at all the same places. Happy to be here.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Love that.
Okay, listen, real quick. We're gonna do the giveaway today. This knife, they wanted $30 to engrave them. I wasn't gonna get that deep into it, and I'm gonna send the knife out and a sticker with it what we're going to do is I have a wheel that we can put the names on. We're going to do $2 increments. So if you want to go over to Rumble Rant $2. Every $2 increment will get you another spot on the wheel. And if you are on X, or if there's another way you can think of to send me an address to send it to, whoever wins, I'll send you the knife and I'll send you a sticker. $2 and get in. Probably talk shit, I guess, on somebody whenever you do it, but whatever. All right. This is going to be a rough transition, but I don't know how else to do this with this wonderful beginning. So here's where we're at. I'm sure everybody on the internet, at least everybody on X, has heard about the Candace Owens, Andrew Wilson debate. Have you guys heard about this? Did you watch any of it? You see clips?
I had no clue. Yeah,
I've
just
heard
been
about
looking it up
but-
since you mentioned it.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I didn't
saw
really
a
watch
few
any of it.
clips. Yeah, I saw a few clips, but I again wasn't really. It was like Charlie Brown, wop, 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 wop. Like, so I didn't really absorb any of it.
You know what? I'll just tell you quickly. It's interesting, and that's why I listened to it. And I listened to it while I was working, which I think added a different dynamic than just actually like watching and listening. Because I rewatched a couple of the clips that were on X as I was scrolling through the timeline. And I don't know what it is, I don't know where to put it, but it adds something different to it when it's just like in your ear and you're not looking at facial. I don't know what that is. But I'm listening to the whole thing, and I was picking up on cues like as they're talking. And I don't want to get into this whole who was right, who was wrong thing. What I'm going to try to do is explain that what I heard was a ton of disingenuous talk coming from Andrew Wilson. Thank heaven you kicked Q-Bird off. Yes. All right. Patrick's in.
Oh, don't make me laugh. Oh.
All right. Tyranny got 5 spots. Don't worry. At the end, I'll take a roll call. I want that knife, nigga. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's try to. I'm going to try and lay this out the best I can, because since you guys are not familiar with this, I'm inclined now. I have to try to explain a little bit of it. There was a debate where Candace Owens got paid from Andrew Wilson $300,000. He paid her $300,000 to come to her house and do this debate. A lot of very interesting things that I guess we're going to probably touch on real quick. If you haven't seen this much, if you don't know about it in depth at all, you find anything I'm about to say interesting, go research it for yourself. Here's what I can tell. The debate was paid for probably either by Steven Crowder or TPUSA or a combination of the two. $300,000 is a lot of money to go and just sit down and have a debate where, you know, it doesn't matter what's said. You got to pay her $300K. It wasn't like if I come here and debate you and I win, I don't have to pay. He was coming to give her over $250,000 for a talk, for having a talk. So he went to her home, and this is just some of the backstory to make you understand some of this, because this sounds more like melodramatic women bullshit now that I'm talking about it. But let's just say this. He wouldn't tell her who the crew was that was coming with him for his production team. Patrick Bet David was the moderator. And that dude, he's a sell guy. That's all he does. Like the whole time, that's all he was trying to do is sell, get people to subscribe. It's fascinating, the mindset for people like that. It's like nonstop, you know, like numbers. It's amazing. Anyway, so the guy comes with a crew to her house the whole time she's allegedly asking him who's coming. And they wouldn't tell her. So he shows up with Steven Crowder's production team. And like they don't get along. And apparently one of Steven's main guys was like wandering around. Do you guys know who Steven Crowder is?
Yeah.
You do?
Not familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just like a talking head. He's kind of, to me, I think he might be a closeted gay. He likes to wear dresses a lot. I don't know what that's about.
100%.
They'll do these skits, and he's wearing a dress and a wig, way more than any grown man should be comfortable with. I honestly, I think he might be a little fruity. I can't take it. Who else wears a dress on the regular and just for the funnies? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, just to set the stage, they come over. It's an ordeal. He's going live from his phone in her house, from somewhere in her house where like the kids play or something. So like, there's all these lines that are getting crossed. Anyway, what I want to try to focus in on is some of the stuff that's a little bit in my wheelhouse. Their whole argument was about Candace saying Charlie was murdered by somebody other than Tyler Robinson. And he was saying he believed that there was overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson did it. To just shorten it a bit, he presented no evidence that Tyler Robinson did it at all, other than what the state had said, which is very much not a lot of evidence. They showed these grainy videos. It could have been Bigfoot, as far as you could tell. Like, it's just nobody really knows who these people are. You'd shove a 20-inch barreled 30-06 down your pants and run up steps, climb a roof, jump off. These things, I can't imagine them happening, right? Like, are you guys familiar with this part at least?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That part seems so fake, even when they were doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get, like, you just on this subject real quick. Do you think what they're claiming is possible or likely or even close to what happened?
I mean, I guess like if you could take it apart enough, like it's possible to try to shove a 30 on. I can't say it without laughing.
That's
no,
the thing, you
it's
can't.
so unreasonable. Like you can't do that.
You
Yeah.
can't take it apart at all. Maybe you could dismount the scope, maybe, without tools, but no, yeah.
So allegedly, it's a Mauser, a Mauser bolt action, and like you can pull them apart. But the thing is if you take a gun apart, the last thing you're gonna know is if it's zeroed still, right? So like, could you basically take a 20-inch, take it apart, put it in half? Could you stick it in your pants and do all these things? It's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely that that's the way that it went down.
And
Highly.
the photos they showed of the weapon, we found the weapon, it was assembled. Forensics didn't reassemble it in the grass where they found it, then take a photo of it. They take photos of it how they find it. So
Right.
you got
And apparently, and I don't know if this is hearsay, I'm just going to add it because you mentioned it, but apparently that was the picture of the rifle that they showed on the news was a stock photo of a very similar rifle, not the exact rifle.
laying in the grass.
Allegedly. I know there's a lot of litigious people out there. This is just what I'm being told from the internet, right? Everything on the internet is true and correct. Okay, I'm just saying. Q is taking a 20-inch right now. All right. So the point is of me saying all that is that there's a lot of discrepancy, inconsistencies in the probabilities of these things actually occurring. And that was more or less what the argument was supposed to be about, is Candace saying that it wasn't possible and him saying that he thought it was and that there was overwhelming evidence. At some point during this overwhelming evidence debate, him paying $300K to come there and present the evidence that it was overwhelming, he gets asked, what does he think the percentage is that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk? He says 75, 80%. That's not overwhelming. Like, that's not how this works, right? Like, if it's overwhelming, you're convinced, right? You're convinced. There's no chance. It's overwhelming, right? It's just, I don't understand that. The whole thing seems so crazy. Mind you, I am listening and I'm picking up on these cues that I'm not sure everybody else picks up on when they're actually watching the video. So like, I can hear the voice cracks probably a little bit more, and like the cadence and stuttering and the stopping when, and this, like, you can almost hear like the dial-up sound when he's searching in the seconds for trying to figure out what he should say next. Mind you, I found out later that he was looking on his phone, taking points from his phone. Hang on. I missed what happened to Drew, but I know it was something to do with his dick, so I'm just going to believe that his cat ripped it off. That's the last pussy Drew will ever get. That's tragic. $2 for the knife. Okay. Forrest Mommy, how are you?
I can't laugh.
That's a good way to do it. $2, make Drew laugh. You could win a knife.
La, 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 la.
We're gonna do in case people are coming in late. We're gonna do a raffle at the end. $2. Talk shit. Get Drew to laugh. I'm gonna send out this knife. I have a few of them and some stickers. Make sure you can send me an address to send it to, some way, DM on X or something like that. Okay, I'm really dragging this out, but some of these points are valid. Okay, so like it's worth explaining. Now, I need to preface this by saying, like, I'm mechanically inclined, and when I first started to learn about, especially semi-auto rifles and how they work, I remember I was in my teens, and somebody had said, like there's a hole in the barrel, and that's what cycles the gun, and I was like, oh, that's crazy, for real? So I don't know if people know that, but like there's a small hole in the rifle barrel on semi-automatic weapons that's attached to a gas block. And depending on the type of weapon, whatever it is, when you shoot, the gases from the round go up the hole, and it moves the action. Sometimes it's a rod, sometimes it's a piston. I'm not going to get into all this. Point is whenever I was younger, I found this stuff out. I found it fascinating. So, like, I know the ins and outs on how a lot of rifles work. Along with that, you'll learn a lot about ballistics. And you try to figure out, different calibers, how they operate, and different firearms, things like that. Okay, bringing me to my fucking point after all that long-winded shit. His claim, which, as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up real quick. You guys can just listen to him say this, and then I will get your reaction. You can tell me what you think. Hang on 1 minute. Some of this, like, it's like I'm very curious to see, from your guys' standpoint, if it makes sense to you. Hang on 1 minute. All right.
Back to the matter is that I dispute this claim that a 30-06 could not have made this wound. I think that that's absurd. 150 grain Remington core lock absolutely could shatter when it hits the neck of any human being. When you say that there's some steel neck and it's a smaller caliber, you have to make a counter explanation. Why wouldn't a smaller caliber also go through bone?
It could. I didn't say it can't.
Right, exactly. So if that's the case, then ammunition is going to be the critical key here. And if we have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip round, well, I'm sorry, not a flex tip, a soft point round from a 150 grain Remington core lock, that's just a small jacket that goes around the actual lead piece. This thing could have split apart in air for all we know. But back to the matter is that I dispute this claim that a 30-06 could not have made this
Let me
wound.
make this point real quick, okay? And I just want everybody to say their piece right after this. I've been talking enough. It is not a frangible round if it's a soft point. Frangible rounds are a thing that it's meant to, when it hits something, breaks into a whole bunch of small pieces. They often use them for training purposes in close quarters so that it doesn't have a chance to over-penetrate. Frangible rounds are not a very popular round for like the commercial market to go out and buy. It's a training round for guys like typically in a shoot house. Like if you're training for hostage rescue or sweeping buildings, like, you're talking about like SWAT team, military, right? And it's a fail-safe because it can, especially at short distances, mimic an actual round, but it won't over-penetrate. It won't go through the wall. If it hits something hard, it's supposed to break up into a whole bunch of pieces. I just want to point that part out because it's the biggest point of the whole thing. I want to get, any one of you can jump in, but when you heard that, what, does anything jump out at you as bullshit, or does it make sense?
I mean,
yeah,
go ahead,
go,
Drew.
go ahead. No, go ahead. But I didn't want to jump in on you.
No, you're good. You're good.
So frangible ammunition does not have lead in it. It's made out of certain other metals where they're compressed, and when it hits a hard target, it turns into powder, literally like a puff of smoke. It turns into dust. It doesn't turn into sharp chunks that can fly off and injure somebody. A soft point is not that. If you think back to the cowboy days, the old original cowboy 6-shooter days, they used to kill each other with cast lead bullets. Lead is not going to just break apart through air hitting someone's collarbone. It's going to destroy your skin, your arteries, your tissue, then break apart. So to even compare what real frangible ammo is, it's made, they take finite materials, which could be different kinds of materials they put together, and they compress it so when it hits a hard target, it literally turns into like baby powder, like if you squeeze the can and it's just like a puff of smoke in the air. That's to make sure there's no actual pieces large enough to injure anybody at close proximity, because like Stack said, it's made for shoot houses, shooting steel plates up close, 5 yards with maybe a higher powered cartridge, and you don't want to get hit in the face or anybody get hit with any damaging material. So to say, I'm not saying if you shoot a person with a frangible round, it's not going to break skin. I'm not trying to say that, but everything he said was just moronic. I would argue to say. Tell me you don't know anything about ballistics and ammunition without telling me you don't know shit about ballistics and ammunition. But the materials used in frangible rounds, like when they produce them for training scenarios, lead is not one of those materials. And if it is, it's a different quality of lead, not the same lead, the hard casting they're going to do in a round that's made for hunting or for any other purpose. So you can't, you're not even comparing, it's a non-comparison. So that was like completely a fraudulent statement, which makes me believe everything else he said is suspect.
Carson, jump in wherever you want.
100%, dude. I did not know what a frangible round is before this. I had to look that up while he was talking. But
I was actually looking for a video. I couldn't find anything right away.
The first thing I noticed, and I've noticed this a lot with a lot of these people who will go and like try to make claims. Neil deGrasse Tyson does it relatively well. This guy does it relatively well. Is that they'll when they're trying to convince somebody of something, but they don't know shit. What they'll do is they'll shift into language that doesn't make sense to like regular people. So he's talking to a woman. He's probably already assuming like she doesn't know what I'm about to say, right? She doesn't know X, Y, and Z about ballistics, and so she's gonna be impressed by my bullet talk already. Like her pussy's gonna be wet just because I said frangible, and so we're already assuming like she doesn't. She's confused. And so what people like this will do is they'll say, well, actually, a frangible bullet, when it's flying through the air, could potentially, if it's like a 9mm bullet, could break apart automatically. And they've made a claim that's completely baseless. We have no idea if it's true. And then when you press them to like back up that claim, typically most of these people will just repeat themselves. And if I had to guess at what he does immediately after this, if she presses him, he'll repeat himself, because that's what these people do when they have no fucking clue how to explain the claim they're trying to make. They have a lot of times they don't even have a claim. And so like even not knowing what a frangible bullet was, I was immediately like, that's bullshit. I can't imagine a piece of lead bursting apart in the air just cause. Like that doesn't make any rational sense. No. So I mean, from the get-go, just like the argument piece of it, complete bullshit.
And Let me just hold on, Drew. Just so, because it's worth explaining this part. And John, if you have anything to add, just jump in, okay? So when it comes to modern day bullets, 90 percentile, 95, 99 percentile is a lead bullet that is washed in a copper jacket round. So like, you get a piece of lead and the outside of it is covered in copper, because they figured out in the past there's rifling in the bullet. I'm going to get to this as well as an explanation, because I'm just breaking this down. This shit drives me crazy. The fact that somebody could go on to such a big stage and pay somebody $300K to say something that's so utterly wrong, that it's like it's fascinating to me how disingenuous this actually is, because there's only two possible things that happen right there. Either he's a moron or he's flat out lying. One or the other. There's no other explanation for what he said, because what he just tried to describe was the furthest thing from the truth. And he was going on such a big show. It's over tens of millions of views now. And if you think about it over how many people clipped and all those other things, like this might be the biggest thing on the internet in a long time, which is why I was asking you if you guys had seen it, because, it's out there and it's just kind of crazy. The point is that the reason that they put the copper on the bullets is to protect the rifling in the rifle or in the pistol, because the lead, especially when it gets hot over multiple rounds, it starts to mar the inside. It gets stuck in the rifling, which affects accuracy. So they put copper over it because copper doesn't do that. If you were to catch a round, you can actually see the rifling on the outside of the round, okay? So that's what I mean about trying to explain when people don't understand. He just said a thing that is so inaccurate, it's fascinating. But I think the problem really is most people don't know what I'm trying to say. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know any of this. Lead bullets, copper jacketed. There's hunting rounds that are pure copper. They actually turn those on machines. It's because in some states, you're not allowed to hunt with lead because some liberal weirdo got the reins of power and decided lead was bad for the environment. But 99% of bullets have lead in them because they go off of weight. Weight's a very important thing. And lead being as dense as it is, you need to have a consistent weight that can be distributed whenever you're shooting the round. This is what I meant about whenever I got fascinating, because it's an actual science. It's not just point, bang, shoot. There's a whole thing. The twist rate inside of the barrel is also another very important thing. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because for him to say that round left and then describes the round, because the only way you can get out of this is by saying you don't know what the round was. It could have been frangible ammo. Now they're making claims that they know exactly what the round is that it's a soft point. Soft point means that when it hits, it mushrooms. So it's going through the air and it hits something and it mushrooms to make a bigger hole. So when it hits enough density, which is usually a few inches inside of tissue, it punches, it gets bigger, right? It like doubles the hole, and it opens it up, and it kind of takes all that energy and pushes it out through the backside of the target, if that makes any sense. They're designed to do that. That's why they're like that. Soft point, what they do is there's typically no copper at the front of the bullet. You can actually see the lead. So the back, 3/4 of it has the copper, and in front of it has just a lead tip so that it can do that. It's a hunting round. It's meant to destroy what it hits. Now, this is where it's going to get gun nerdy, but it's worth saying because I heard nobody say this yet. Hang on one second. From his small cannon. $5 from Tyranny. Okay. So I'm saying all that because to make the claim, first of all, that it was a soft point round and that it left a barrel chambered in 30-06. 30-06, the twist rate in the barrel is extremely important. Is usually a 1 in 10 on specialty rounds. On specialty rifles, it'll go 1 to 12. The reason that number is important is, I'm going to explain this. Everyone's going to learn something today. The rotation down the barrel, the 1 in 10, one rotation every 10 inches. So that bullet spins all the way around one time every 10 inches. Is this making sense so far? So if you have a 20-inch barrel, that bullet inside of the barrel should only spin twice inside of the barrel before it leaves the barrel, meaning that it's not spinning. Think of a football, right? When you want to get accuracy with a football, a quarterback grabs it and they spin it, right? Because you have to have that point and the whole thing has to be spinning for it to go accurately. Because if it doesn't, it turns into a duck, right? It goes end over end and you can't get any accuracy. Bullets the same way. That's why the rotation and the weight of the round plays a role for accuracy, okay? There's no way for a bullet the bullet that they're talking about, to break into pieces in air because it's not spinning fast enough for anything to happen. Does that make sense? So, like, because there is, I'm going to get into a little minutia, but it's worth mentioning. There's newer rounds that have like a 1 in 3 twist. There's a reason for that. I'm going to save you guys from it, but the whole problem with getting into a faster twist rate is the primary reason why they don't like to go any faster is because when it leaves the barrel, it can break into pieces. So the slower the twist rate, the more safe it is in that aspect. Okay, so like they try to keep to a certain twist rate and with a certain bullet so that they don't break into pieces as soon as they leave the barrel, because that's what will happen. If for some reason there's a problem and that bullet's going to break into pieces, it's not going to happen on target. It's going to happen as soon as it leaves the barrel. That said, this is what I'm trying to get to. Everything he said is completely a lie. It is not. You could never, ever, ever repeat it. Like, you couldn't do it in science. You could shoot 1,000,000 rounds the exact same way. That thing is never going to happen. And even if the very last round you shoot, for some reason, if it breaks up in the air, this miraculous thing happens. Guess what's not going to happen? It's not going to hit the target at 140 yards away. That's not going to happen. So I hope that was, did you guys understand that explanation at all? Did that make sense? Did it ring through?
Yeah, dude. That was a full-on perfect explanation for retarded people. Like, it works. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I was really hoping that I wasn't saying too much to something too technical. I needed it to make sense because everything he just said was an utter lie. And he paid $300,000 to go to her house and lie. Like, nobody was going to fucking know. I mean, but the crazy part is how many people don't know because they don't know this kind of stuff. But what he's trying to say happened as a, what was the claim? Overwhelming amount of evidence. And this is part of the overwhelming amount of evidence. That didn't happen.
And just to add this into for people who don't know, true frangible rounds, training rounds, you're not going to walk into just any gun shop, small mom and pop, big name gun shop. Regular gun shops, places that sell ammunition online, don't carry this stuff. Some of them will in certain calibers. Mostly you'll see pistol calibers, 5.56. They do make 308, 7.62 by 51. But like, you really got to go look and know where to get. And in some states, have to order it through like a security agency. Like, it's not something you're going to walk into Walmart or walk into Dick's Sporting Goods and say, yeah, let me get a 20-round box of frangible rounds. They're going to look at you and scratch their head and say, we don't carry that. So it's like a specialty thing, even though it's not like impossible to get. It's very uncommon, just to add into the more unlikeliness of what he's saying.
Tell me, John, if that made sense. Did everything that I just say, did it make absolute sense?
Yeah, I mean, it made perfect sense, but like, I don't really know like a ton about this dude. But from what I can tell, like the way he operates is he operates like a wizard, man. Like, you know, he's going into that debate thinking that there's nobody's going to check him, right? So it's like he can just get by on like sounding good, right? And it doesn't matter that what he's saying is completely nonsensical, right? Like that's how he it's in all honesty, it's how all of these debates operate from both sides. You know, for the most part, is most of the time, like, these people will just not really lean on logic at all. They'll just try to sound good, and it doesn't really matter that like the shit that they're saying is completely nonsensical because no one's really there to check them, right?
Yeah. I mean, this goes for just about everything, and I think calling it a wizard spell is probably pretty accurate because first of all, he's going, like, you're not arguing against this OnlyFans model that's next to retarded, right? Because that's where this dude gets his wins from.
Yeah.
He goes on to like the whatever podcast and, you know, chews up OnlyFans models for being whores. This retard just stepped into an arena that he knew absolutely nothing about. And all of it paints a picture for me that because I don't know if you guys probably don't know this part, but he was at TPUSA's headquarters a couple of weeks before this, allegedly being paid to teach a debate class.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, this is painting a bigger picture. If you get if you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know how to actually debate. He knows how to trash people that don't know anything. Like, that's what he knows how to do. He knows how to make people look foolish that are already foolish. But when it comes down to actually being in an arena with people that, Candace is probably the most person on the planet about what is happening with this case. Like, there's stuff that if you listen to her show, not that this is not an advertisement for Candace, I'm just saying, like, if you listen to her, you will learn things that you didn't know happened at all, right? So you go there with this. There's no way that this dude thought that he could have, quote unquote, won, or he's a moron. He was sent there. He was sent there. There was a plan set in place. They gave him the money, and what I think they wanted to do, because you can tell in some of the questions where he tried to corner her, they wanted to get him to get her to slander TPUSA or Erica Kirk so that they could sue her, because once you get sued, there's a gag order that's put in place, so she couldn't talk about it anymore. Does that make sense?
I can see this being rage bait for sure. Because I mean, people like him, they don't get off and they don't get away. Like, they don't do what they do just because they're good at arguing. Because he's clearly shit at it. I've never really seen this guy before. Clearly sent there because some military vet, I don't care how successful he was, sucking dicks in Iraq, he's not coming back with that much money enough to pay Candace Owens $300,000 to show up at her house. And so why the hell is he there? And then if you're gonna do that, you're not gonna do that shitty of a job. Like, if somebody who knows nothing about firearms can pick that apart, then what the fuck are you there for other than to rage bait somebody? Yeah, these people get off on like the ethos of telling somebody, well, I was in the military, like, but they actually end up saying nothing. So I mean, yeah, I think that's the only reasonable thing to think they could be there for. Yeah.
I don't know what else it could be. I don't have any other, like when you look at the picture as a whole, I'm just like, and I think it points to a thing. This is more or less what the whole argument was about. It's worth pointing out to people that don't understand any of this, some of the actual facts on the ground, what these things, what this terminology means, what they do. Somebody could learn something. Did you guys learn something right now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit actually. Yeah.
Okay, good. That was the
Thanks,
point.
Dad.
Yeah, no problem. I could teach you a lot, son. Do you have a knife yet?
Okay, I meant to bring it with me. I keep a small pocket knife around my house.
You're at your house, so
I just never carry it. I don't know where it is, John. I think it's in my
I'll take
car.
your word for
Point
it.
blank.
I'll take
Yeah.
your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
I thought of you when I put it in my pocket.
We can give you a free entry for the knife. Just I'll do that. But I mean, again, it just goes to show that under the surface there are things at play. This is kind of what I wanted to bring it back to, is that under the surface of all this, there's a thing at play, and I think it's up to your discretion whether or not you want to decide what that thing is. I think it's a spiritual battle. I think that there is a plan in place to do something, and for whatever it's worth, I don't want to get into specifics. I will if somebody wants to know, but I think there's a plan in place, and all of this is to continue to push it in minimal effort with a lot of efficiency, but a little bit at a time. Every time something like this happens, right? Because I think what they were probably trying to do was get some kind of civil chaos going by saying the lefty furry killed Charlie Kirk. They get Charlie Kirk out of the way. His formulating anti-Israel stance on the wars in the Middle East all congealed into this, that like, we got to get rid of them. To me, that's what it more or less boils down to, is that there's a lot of nuance in between everything I just said. It's not worth bringing it all up. But like I said, spiritual battle. There's shit happening that I don't think people get the bigger picture of. They will get caught up in the frangible ammo and what the video was and, what the deal was with Charlie, what he was saying, who he was friends with. The point is I think that it boils down to the idea that there's a definite spiritual battle going on, and the powers that be that are in control of the mechanisms, especially in our government, they have a plan, and if you get in the way, these kinds of things will happen.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying that, like we did our reaction episode to it, like what, 2 days after it happened, and like that was more or less my take on it. That like, and I've started to kind of come to this conclusion about a lot of like conspiracy stories is that like the story, whatever story that they give you, is gonna be bullshit, and it's designed to be bullshit because it's like, if it's set up that way, it sparks like these type of like cultural debates, and behind the scenes, they actually get to do what they're actually trying to do with no one really paying attention, right? Like 9/11 is a great example of that. Like, the 9/11 story is absolutely ludicrous, right? It's designed to be, but they want you focusing on like, hey, how did those towers fall? Not like, why did they actually do that? What was the cultural and spiritual ramifications of all of that, right? They want you focused on the story, so it's meant to be like completely nonsensical in a way, and like because one of the things that did happen off of that was this kind of like massive J noticing that's taken place. Like this brought Candace into the forefront of mainstream pop culture, if you will, in like media, right? Is this story and like the Israel angle of it all. And it's like, I think that's an interesting thing to notice.
I think you're 100% correct.
Yeah,
Q, you're home? You're home? You get away from the police?
My microphone work?
Yep.
Oh shit! First try. Hell yeah.
All right. So you got away from the police then? Is that you're good?
Yeah, I ain't been in jail in 16, 17 years, man.
Well,
Ain't
that's
going
what
back.
getting away means. You got away.
Right.
Yeah. I've done really well. I mean, my record speaks for itself. So,
All right. Well, I'm glad you eventually made it. Did you catch any of the gun nerd stuff that I was talking about?
Yeah, I already know about rifling. That's old news.
Okay, well, there's a whole lot more there than rifling.
But thanks. I heard you. I know about
Okay.
guns.
All right.
I am a gun. Hey, but can I say something though?
Sure.
I forgot what it was.
Holy fuck.
Dude, I did. I forgot what it was. It was
Holy
hey,
fuck.
anyway, you was asking what the reason. You don't know what the reason why all this went down, right? It's not making sense.
No,
Like,
you tell
can't-
me. You tell me.
That's what I'm getting at. If you
Okay.
allow me to speak, sir.
Holy fuck.
Hey man, nah, check this out. In my mind, I think that they're trying to like get people to agree with guilty before guilty. Like you got to prove you're innocent. Guilty until proven innocent. The other way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Guilty. Good luck proving innocent. I think they're trying to get people to kind of agree with that, to push it, something like that for it. And it's like, I don't know, man. I had a whole nother thing I was gonna say, but I forgot what it was.
Well,
Like I had a whole thing in my head, but I can't get it out. It'll take me a minute.
when it pops in, just let us know.
Yeah.
But
All I heard Q say was he's got a hole in his head.
Basically.
But I mean, I don't think that it's not a bad point though to say that, because it's true. First of all, they haven't even gone to trial yet, and there's a large majority of the country that has decided that he's did it, and the defense hasn't even had an opportunity yet to present anything. They're literally at like the pretrial stages, where all it is the state giving enough evidence for them to hold trial. Like, so yeah, I mean, and how many people would you ask on the street and just say, do you think he did it? How many of them you think is going to say yeah?
A good portion of
Yep.
of what's considered normal people. You know what I'm saying?
9
Yeah.
out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Every day.
This is the same kid who
Weirdo.
supposedly confessed to his father and his trans girlfriend, boyfriend. It's the same thing. Like in the first week this all went down, they were saying he confessed to his father, and his father called police. So apparently they got some type of indirect confession or something. Like, if I'm remembering correctly, does that sound accurate or?
Say it again. I'm not sure if I heard you right.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to anything Drew said.
The way that they actually found him was because he confessed to his father and his father called the police and said my son confessed to the shooting, and then they looked into him, and apparently he had a trans girlfriend, boyfriend, or something like that. That's
I know the trans thing is
Allegedly.
accurate. I don't
Well-
remember him how he got caught. I can't recall. That may be
his
right.
father turned him in. His father, like, he confessed to his father.
That didn't happen though. Like that's what they were saying,
That's
but
the
that
original
didn't happen.
story.
Yeah, I don't know if it
So,
really happened or not.
Well,
That's
I
what
mean,
Candace
here's the
said
thing.
it didn't happen right, but
I mean, here's the thing, right? So
you know, she could be
if
bullshit.
you're right, but we could go back to the court transcripts, which would mean his parents would be witnesses for the state because they would have been the ones that turned him in. And they
Right.
are not witnesses for the state. They're not labeled on state's evidence at all. They're not even there to testify on behalf of the state. So if they were the ones that made the call and said he did
They
it,
would
they would
definitely
have to
on the
testify.
docket, yeah.
They wouldn't not be allowed to. It's
They'd be
you know.
subject-
But at the same time, if they're saying that the parents did that and they really didn't, wouldn't you think that the parents would be out there raising hell? We didn't say that. We didn't turn them in. Just that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would. My kids.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but that's what I mean about the problem with the entire thing. That and you know, I didn't want the entire show to be about it,
I
but
think
I
it's
mean,
fake.
there's a huge problem with the entire thing because none of it makes sense.
'Cause it's
There's
not real.
nothing that you can point to, no fact that you can see that says this seems accurate, right? Like none of it. Like they even point to video and say this is him, doesn't look like him. Or the video's so grainy that you can't make anything out other than it looks like there's a dude standing there. And again, like look, 20-inch barrel 30-06. You put it down your pants and you climbed up steps to a roof, right? Like that's the fucking claim from the state.
And is it still on site?
I
You
don't,
know what I'm saying? It's still sighted in.
and I
Test
don't know.
shotgun. Good luck.
I don't know what happened. I'm not making any claims as to what happened. I'm saying
Could
everything
happen.
they keep saying happened doesn't seem likely in the least.
No, and they got the video of whoever was supposedly jumping off of the roof, which was like 13, 15 feet in the air, or even higher, and hitting the ground, doing like a little roll and getting up. You got a 20-inch Mauser down your pants. That you're not going to stick the landing.
No.
So I mean, yeah, it's just there's a lot of problems with that. A lot of problems with that.
Well, there was something strange about the video of him going across the roof. And you ever heard of a lateral crawl? Do you know what that is?
Is that just crawling sideways? I mean,
Yes.
the horse-
Yes.
okay.
It's a
Shotgun,
military
yeah.
tactic. It's a military tactic. When you're coming up on the edge, especially if you're receiving fire or expecting to receive fire, but you could do this if you're taking cover. You know, there's a certain way to approach the edge of the building, the rooftop, whatever it may be. It's not something inherently people do, if that makes any sense. Like, you know what I mean? It's not something you just kind of, not saying it can't happen. You know, I mean, of course somebody could instinctively go, this is the best way to get there. But it's a tactic that's trained by the military. And what happened was the video shows a guy going across the roof, and as soon as he started getting close to the edge, he did a lateral crawl. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it's just one of those things where you could go, I don't, that's a tactic that is definitely trained in the military. Is it something that a civilian that doesn't even like to shoot all that much know to do while approaching the edge of a roof? You know what I mean? So there's a ton of this. There's a ton of this where you start going, I don't know. Like, I mean, it just doesn't really make any sense.
Well,
Starts adding
yeah.
up. Yeah.
Here's one thing about the debate. Like, nobody won the debate. Nobody has actual provable evidence that either way that he did it or he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It can't be proven either way by the debate. So how's there a winner? You know what I'm saying? It's fucking
Well, let
gay.
me ask Carson first. Do you think that he did it? Like, you don't there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious. It's a barometer. Do you
I mean,
think that
yeah.
he did it?
short answer is no. If I had to like put a clear answer to it, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters whether or not some guy named Tyler Robinson did it or didn't do it. Because for me, like if you look at the greater narrative, there's this thread that flows through a lot of these stories that have hit mainstream news over the past 6 years. But a lot of these stories that are centered around some kind of like murder or violence or whatever, like they always have a right-wing figure and a faggot. Like that's what they have to have. They have to have a right-wing figure and a faggot, whether it's, the Tyler Robinson story where, you have Charlie Kirk and some guy who's fucking a furry. You have the incident in Minnesota where some lesbian poet gets run over by an ICE agent. You have the UHC CEO that got shot up by some guy who liked to just go and hang out at gay clubs and take it up the ass every now and then. Like there's always a faggot and a furry in all of these stories. There's always a conservative, and so what I see outside of the clear like lie. I mean, you mentioned spiritual narratives earlier, Stacks. Is like you have this effort to create enough of a distraction, right, and enough of a hubbub to get people arguing with one another, to get people frustrated, to get people focused on the stories. And I mean, so you can see the clear lies, right, in like Tyler Robinson narrative, in the UHC narrative, in the Minnesota narrative, in the Butler, Pennsylvania shooter. Like you can see all these lies. Some people can, a lot of people can. But what do you do with that information at the end of the day? But like that narrative is so clear through all of those stories. Like they're very clearly, whether these events are actually happening or not, setting people up to take one side or another. Like these stories are super well. Whoever's writing this shit is doing a phenomenal job crafting a story that will capture both sides of the like socio-political aisle and pit them against each other perfectly. I mean, it's so well done.
Hegelian dialectic, right? Like that's
Absolutely.
what I think this is.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot of Hegelian dialectic. Let's do this to see, because we're going to throw the crapshoot is they're going to roll the dice. This is going to be the problem. Now they have different forms of what the outcome is that they want, but they want to see what people ask for, right? So like that's the way I kind of see it. Is like I wonder to myself, how violent would the world actually be if it wasn't for this type of shit happening from governments and governmental agencies and corporations all over the world all the time? Because your average person doesn't do shit like this. They don't. They just don't. They'd rather do their job, go to work. Sure, they're going to be pissed, but are they out knocking down buildings actually, right? Are they stealing planes to knock down buildings? Are they shooting at people from the roof because they're that mad? It just makes you think, like, how violent would the world actually be if these things weren't in that Hegelian dialectic crapshoot? Because I don't think that they know the exact outcome. I think that they're like bird shotting the outcome. Like, let's just see what sticks. Let's just see what we can hit, because in some way this will be able to move the needle.
Dude, that's really interesting. I've always kind of assumed there's a specific like end game in some of these, but like maybe they just don't fucking know, and they're like, hey, we're gonna do something, we don't know what yet, and we're gonna see the way people react. That's interesting. Yeah,
dude, throw these planes into this building. We're gonna get paid for the insurance anyway. Let's see what we can pull off. Oh, Middle East war, we'll just go steal everything while we're cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
What else can we do? You know what I mean? Like, okay, Patriot Act. Okay, cool. Let's do that too. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it just seems like I don't think that they're as smart as a lot of people give them credit for. I think they have the ability to do big things and then try to, do the best with what they can with the outcome that they have, right? Like, because that's what I kind of see. Do they hit the nail on the head sometimes? Sure, I'm sure they do. But I mean, I think that there's other times where shit just doesn't stick. You know what I mean? Fear, be afraid. You don't have to be afraid anymore because we have a solution, right? I mean, what happened to monkeypox? They threw that one out there, right?
The hand job virus. I mean, yeah, those just disappeared. Yeah,
they passed that off to the fags.
Yeah. John,
And let it
do
ride.
you think that he did it?
Yeah, I mean, same. Like, short answer is no, right? But in this particular story, and I see that a lot too, is like they fill it with absurdities that I think like a lot more people can see than I think sometimes people like us realize. But it's like it's part of the manipulation trick, because it's like if we give you this insane story, but then we get you to actually like deny the reality that you see in front of your own eyes and go along with it, that's a manipulation tactic, right? So it's like in a lot of these things, it's like they'll gaslight you, right, into kind of convincing you that you're crazy for seeing like reality as it just objectively is like this entire story is retarded, It's completely retarded. But right, if we can get, the mass populace who probably can see that on some level to go along with it, it is a control tactic, right? It's why I think like all of NASA's like imagery looks so fucking fake. It's like the people at NASA aren't stupid. They do that on purpose. They do that completely on purpose. It's a manipulation tactic.
I think you're right. Is the Earth flat?
It's not round.
Okay, fair enough.
I
fair
don't
enough.
know. I every time I'm asked that question, I go back to Job chapter 38, where God puts Job in his place. It's like, hey, where were you when I created all of this?
Right.
It's that like we're not in the mind of God. We weren't there when it was created. So it's like, I'm okay with not completely knowing how it all works.
Yeah.
But I know that NASA's claims are retarded. Like a vacuum, like gas next to a vacuum without a physical barrier is physically impossible and something that we can't replicate, right?
Yep. No, I agree
That
with you, though.
alone is just completely stupid. So,
I mean, you're right. I have something I want to. There's actually two things I want to bring up that are going to touch on these topics, but just because you said that, I think you're right in a way because, let's just start real quick rundown. NASA from the beginning, who was it founded by? Nazis. They brought over Nazi scientists to run it. Wernher von Braun. What was on his tombstone? Do you remember the quote that was on his tombstone?
yeah, it was Psalm 19:1. Heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament declares
Firmament.
his handiwork.
Firmament.
Yeah.
His secretary said that the last deception would be. This is a quote from him.
Yeah.
His secretary that was with him from the beginning to the end said that the last deception would be alien invasion. Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as what NASA gets, this is probably more now, but the last time I heard it was 60 million a day. A day. Now, I mean,
22
if you
million.
were, no matter what the situation is, if you were going to run any kind of scheme, and you had to convince everybody that we were going to the moon, whether you can get there or not, would you just go film a place and you pretend to play golf on it and ride a dune buggy around, even though it's in the vacuum of space, where, according to their science, probably shouldn't be able to happen. There's so many inconsistencies that it's not just crazy talk, especially when John says that. If you understand the entirety, these are just small talking points, but if you understand the entirety of it, it actually does, it's the same thing as this shooting. You start to put it all together. If you're not listening to what they're telling you and just believing your eyes and ears and the wisdom of your experience, it doesn't make any sense. You're just like, okay, something isn't making any sense. I always say this anytime anybody brings up space, the moon, whatever. Dark matter is a thing that they say exists because if it didn't exist, their math wouldn't work. That's literally why they made it up. Because these huge equations that, like, they have to print it all out. It's the side of a fucking building big. They need a ladder to do the whole thing. But whenever it gets through it, the only way that it works is if they add in a factor of dark matter, which you can't measure, you can't smell, you can't taste, you can't prove it, but it has to be there or else they're wrong. Now, if I was to say that, if I was to say to you, this is the truth, I know that like this whole equation is written out and there's just one part that I can't prove, but that has to be there or I'm wrong. What would you say? You're probably wrong. So the whole idea of like how they even theoretically come up with the ideas of space, time, all these things, for people to claim that they have it figured out and that it's nailed down and this is how things work, I just don't think that's correct. All right, so real quick, I just want to add this for you guys so that you can see what I'm talking about on some of this stuff. He says he got a text message about Charlie being nervous about being killed from the left the day before he was killed.
Charlie responded with this. Okay, great. Remind them that they are there for one person's security only, because I'm somewhat worried the left is trying to kill me. That was a message sent September 9th.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
Charlie responded
One
with
more
this. Okay, great. Remind them that they are there for one person's security only, because I'm somewhat worried the left is trying to kill me. That was a message sent September 9th.
But he
What
was
year?
not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
And she had the cell phone.
What
All right.
year and who sent the message?
Do you see what I'm-
He didn't say none of that shit.
Right. Well, I mean, again, the inconsistencies of the argument. Like,
Look,
this is
look-
what I'm trying to point out. I thought you had something to add. Q.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you listened to a bitch that said she was pregnant when he got shot and killed, which never happened. But she said she was pregnant, if you recall.
I didn't know
if you
that
know.
happened. I believe you. I didn't know that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. She said she's 3 weeks pregnant. Where's her baby at? Where's her pregnant stomach?
This
You know what
claim
I'm
was
saying? It's all
yeah.
bullshit. It's all fake and gay.
Yeah, WWE. That's why I always come back to that. It's
They don't
that
even hide it.
WWE
They don't
shit.
even try. This is fucking gay.
All right. There was something else, but we're kind of coming up past the top of the hour, so I guess this is just going to be about the Candace Owens interview. There anything you guys would want to add on that topic? WWE, it's all fake and gay. There's some truth to it. No?
I mean, you mentioned like you were talking about the fact that their math doesn't work, but this Earth stuff, right? And it's one of those weird. I mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson early on, and he's one of those people that's a phenomenal like wordsmith. That dude can talk shit with the best of them, even though you'd have no clue, right? Because he sounds like an obnoxious college professor. But what people like him will come out and say when they're trying to prove that dark matter exists is like, we looked at the sky, and unfortunately, according to our math, the planets weren't moving in the right direction. And so we know our math's obviously not wrong because math's not wrong. And so there had to be something else there. And so we gave it a name because there had to be something else there. And it's this illusion
all
that
makes
these
sense.
sons of bitches are infallible. Like they can't be wrong. They can't lie. And we built these figures up to be these like pseudo gods to society, to where people just automatically believe what they say. It's not just people like Neil deGrasse or Kansas or Tucker or fucking Erica Kirk. It's like as simple as your second grade teacher who's teaching you propaganda from the science book she was told she had to share with you when you were the most impressionable you'll ever be. And so people like me, like John, like all of you guys have been essentially propagandized from the time you were little. That makes us so much more susceptible to these plays they run on us, like the Tyler Robinson shooting, because we just learned to blindly trust these authority figures wherever the hell they come from because they said they were right. They don't have to do anything past that. They just have to say, I'm right, believe me, and that's it. That's all they fucking have to do. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think that's right, and I think that understanding, first of all, I always bring us back to this, but like that this is a spiritual battle, and when you see all this deception, it's coming from somewhere.
And it's not by accident, it's on purpose.
100%. 100%. John and I were talking the other night. I'm sorry, but John and I were talking the other night about like once upon a time, like speaking of spiritual battles and all the propaganda, people got a lot of information from the stars, from like astrology, from reading the stars. Like you want to talk about spirituality, they all knew Jesus was being born because there was a giant ass star that like was super bright one night. And if that happens
Yeah.
to me, I'm going to go inside and think I probably drank a little too much. I'm going to go pass out and pray that I wake up not hungover in the morning. But they got all this, and now this whole NASA lie. It's like, guys, don't worry about that. It's science. It's all just gas. Like it's just wild. Like how much information we've lost and been told to ignore because it's out there. Like you just have to look up at the sky.
I'm
wild.
glad you brought that up because I remember thinking this when you guys were talking about that. Yeah, I was in the chat, but I was playing with the kids, and this for me is where this is how I see it. Feel free to agree or disagree, whatever. But this is what I've lived. We as a society, as a culture, as a people, are not in tune with nature on any level. Most people don't even look up anymore. Everybody looks down. Everybody's looking down at their phone, down at their feet as they're walking. They don't make eye contact with each other. Like, nobody is looking up, right? So that's just a small microcosm of the idea that this is what I'm always trying myself to learn and try to explain to other people about. Nature is there. Crow from Crow 777 puts this extremely well, and I quote it often. There is no lie in nature. If we can connect with the creation, we can connect with the creator. But when we're stuck in this materialistic environment where all the answers come from the people that supply the materialistic things, all your screens, all your clothes, your house, your energy, your food, right? All these things come from the same people that are lying to you, right? All of them, on some way, shape, or form. Like you don't
Yes.
even know if your food is actually food. I have a clip, if you're interested, I can bring it up, but they were like, the FDA doesn't even know what's in the food as of like a week ago. They have no idea. There's no oversight. There was some loophole written, and they were able to just say that it was like organic, and that made it organic because there was a shred of grass in it or something, but it's a pile of chemicals. Like, they don't even know. We have no idea what's even in the food. The people that are oversee it don't even know what's in the food. We are so far removed from knowing the world. Like, the creation that we were given, that we're supposed to take care of, like that we're supposed to oversee, that like we can't even connect. People don't want to go outside because it's too hot. It's too cold. It's like, we're going to sit in the air conditioning or in the heater. And it's like, go outside and do stuff, touch grass, right? I think that's a major part of the problem. I can't stress it enough, but it's like, there's every cure that they put in a fucking bottle or a pill came from some sort of plant in the beginning. They got the idea because a plant existed. The cure, like if you knew what they were, you wouldn't need them for that. Go ahead, Drew.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
Are you high on pain medication and forgot what was going to happen?
Nah, I'm coming down. Actually, I gotta that when we get off. I gotta
Boot one up.
Yeah. I gotta get one of those down. No, I think I was just gonna say. What was I gonna say?
Oh, wait, real quick while you're thinking. We're coming up on the end of the show, so if anybody wants to get into the raffle for the knife and the sticker, you got a few more minutes left. I already have the wheel queued up. I can add a few more names. So $2 get you in the drawing.
It's unlimited interest, right?
Pretty much. I mean, Tyranny's already kind of topped it out, and
I got 3 now.
Yeah, I counted 3. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't know how many the wheel can hold, so I'm trying to see, how many people actually get in. But Tyranny has like 10 of them.
Shit.
But John, did what I say make sense? Because if there was a sign in any way, shape, or form, and it came from the stars, who do you think would actually see it today? That's the problem, right? Like, we're so disconnected from it that's the actual problem.
Yeah, man. And like when you talk about, I hate the term flat earth, but like when you talk about that, like people ask why. Well, like this is why, right? Because if we can convince you that your environment, your reality that you exist in is completely at random, right? It's not created. It exists in a void and has no meaning to you whatsoever, right? You get down to the point to where it's just like, you get to the point where like you don't trust anything that you observe, right? It's like human beings, we have an incredible ability to actually observe things and take in information and reason when we're not bogged down with all of the shit that we get bogged down by, right? They want you to, not trust your own observations, right? Not trust what you see before your own eyes, right? And defer that authority onto an entity that you don't know, that you will never interact with, right? And let, I don't even really know completely how to describe it, but let this like faceless thing completely control your life in a way, right? And that's a dangerous place to be in. Is like, it's okay to observe what you see in front of you and make your own mind up about it.
This is true. Okay.
Yes.
Q must really want this knife. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna see how many spaces are left on the wheel. This goes for everybody though. You guys, if you have $2, you can get in the drawing for the knife. All right. The other flip side to this, because I don't like to end on this bad note ever, where it's like, you know, the world is fucked and, you know, we're all fucked with it, right? Because I honestly don't believe that that's true. I think it's your perception. If you want to believe that, I mean, sure, go right ahead. But I'm not on that ship. I'm not riding that. There is a ton of good in the world also. There's a ton of potential in the world also. You can do the things that I do or that I try to tell other people to do. You can do it a little bit at a time. You can take hold of the world spiritually. Even if you're not into like trying to farm or create your own food or any of those things, you don't have the time. The world was created for us. So recognize that and do what it takes. Be in the world, but not of it. Like, look around and see the miracles that are around you. That, like, food grows on trees all around you. And that the scarcity idea is just bullshit. It's like a baby saying food is scarce. You know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, maybe the baby doesn't have an ability to go get it, right? So it might be scarce to that baby. But, you know, as grown people, if we do what we were meant to do and provide for ourselves, create communities, worship God, right? Like, if we do these things, the world becomes such a better place. But if you allow yourself to say, I'm never going to get anywhere, I'm never going to be anything, I'm never going to meet anybody, you know, like, that's where you're going to be. Nothing will change until you change that.
Here, here.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Ew. Still the Jews.
Yeah. Yeah.
If y'all didn't know.
All right. Should we spin the wheel? What do you guys think?
Spin that motherfucker.
Let's do it.
And
Yeah.
that bit.
Let's see
All right.
it.
I got to add Q a couple more times. Guys, you got just a few minutes until I spin it. All right, hang tight. I got to add, I don't even know how many more. Let's see. Q got to go on 5 more times. Patrick's on there once, so I kind of hope he
You
wins.
lose, Pat. We don't go for the underdogs around here.
3, 4.
I would give it a Pat, though.
I'm not even sure if we have any space left for everybody.
Actually, I wouldn't. Fuck Pat.
Yeah, it is looking crowded.
Hang on, let me put it on the screen because I'm a retard. All right. So, Q's on there a handful of times. Tyranny. Oh, wait. I got to add Tyranny a couple more times. I was trying to save space.
Tyranny don't
Anybody
care.
else? No, she wants to win. Or he wants to win. I can tell.
It's a female.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
A ugly one, too.
I get Tyranny confused with other people.
Got to Tyranny. Yeah, she's an ugly bitch. Tranny. No, Tyranny is a dude, actually. I thought
Is
you
it?
knew that. Yeah. He's an old man.
You sure?
100%.
Okay. You
I've
made
heard
him
him speak. I've heard him talk.
talk where?
Tyranny, where you be talking?
Nowhere. That's some voices
on,
you hear in your fucking head.
Nah, nigga, on Morningwood. That's where.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right, let me check the chat real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anybody.
I always feel like
60 seconds. $2. Let's go. You want to try and win this knife. And don't forget, if you're going to be in this, you have to somehow send me your information and address to send it to.
Shouldn't
So-
we be like intertwined? Me and Tyranny.
No.
I'm just kidding. You ain't got to do
No.
it.
No, I'm driving here, motherfucker.
Hey, he gets a whole half a wheel. I gotta have.
All right, you guys ready? Here we go.
I feel like it's rigged. I'm about to shit myself.
Patrick.
Oh, so close.
Q.
Q.
Woo.
I will treasure it my entire life.
All right. You know what's fucked up with that is I've tried to send Q 2 other packages.
That shit ain't
Allegedly.
And it ain't make it.
Allegedly.
I think Q's mail person might be a black guy that steals all his stuff.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, I got stickers from Subliminal Messenger, and I got them from Jules before.
All right.
So
I'm saying.
I'm sending this knife and one of these stickers with it, and I'm going to put tracking on it, and I expect it to get there. And
Overnight,
you,
it's only like $60 or so.
oh, is that all?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind.
All right. So when you get it, make a video or something for X.
Of course, I'll probably just see me on the news and just ask about it.
That would be great. That'd be great. Too bad it
It'd be
didn't
good,
have.
good publicity, man. I mean,
Yeah, I was just
look at
gonna
the
say.
gash this thing left.
You know what would be good is if you did, and it was on the news, and it actually was engraved with Stacks Farmstead on it.
Badass.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And
They had,
it was
like,
like and a
The
public
evidence
figurehead.
table.
Yeah, a public figurehead like Neil deGrasse Tyson, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You guys want to add anything? I felt like that might have
Andrew
been
Wilson.
a long, drawn out thing and that I had to do. Did anybody else was this terrible?
No, I mean,
I think it's all fake. Anyways, I don't believe they killed anybody. I think it's bullshit.
So
where do you
nobody
think he's at,
died?
Thank you. Where do you think Kirk's at?
I think it's an actor just like wrestle him and they put him somewhere. I don't know.
It's with Tupac
I
and
don't
Biggie
care.
and everybody
I
else.
doubt that. I don't know about all that. It's possible, but I doubt.
All right. Well,
it.
let's close with that. From everybody, right or wrong, there's no right answer. What do you think happened with Charlie Kirk? Go ahead, Q. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
What I think happened? I think
Yeah.
they ran a psyop just like the rest of them. Who's to say Tyler Robinson's even a real person? Have you met him? I haven't. I don't know who the fuck he is. He could be just like damn Adam Lanza, fake. That's all.
Okay.
Sandy Hoax, if you didn't know.
All right.
Mm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
we're getting way
that's
out there.
bullshit. That
John.
ain't way out there. That's
John,
on point.
what do you think happened with Charlie Kirk?
Well, the "see you in Vihalia" comment made me think that he was probably chilling somewhere. But Owen is starting to convince me that they ate this motherfucker. Like, he's working on me. Like I'm starting to get there.
That's an interesting point. I mean, I don't know if you guys had heard this, but one of their guys, went onto Sean Ryan's podcast. Have you heard about this at all?
No.
One of the
Yeah,
guys from
I've seen it.
TPUSA went onto Sean Ryan's podcast, and allegedly, I have no way to know about this for sure. I thought about researching it, but I've heard this from a couple different people. That while he was there, if you've ever seen Sean Ryan's podcast, he has
I've seen the clip.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
There's like a bar with a bunch of memorabilia and liquor and stuff on it from like people that came in to give him his gifts. He allegedly offered to give him a vial of Charlie Kirk's blood.
Oh, I did hear about.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know if
Yeah,
that's true.
I
or not.
did
I
hear
didn't see
about
none of that. I didn't see that part. But I saw the clip where he's like, yeah, "It got my mouth. I could taste it." It's on my
Yeah.
lips."
Yeah, that show.
Yeah.
That show. Which is actually what led to the whole eating him thing and the way that the reaction went down. It's funny. I'll give you that.
Jeez.
Carson, what do you think happened?
Man, I know it's not a popular conspiracy opinion, and we've done a lot of shows on clones and all the other shit, but I honestly am starting to think, the more I look into this, there might be an actual person named Charlie Kirk who was murdered. And the only reason I wonder that is because of I don't know, all the ancillary characters that seem to be attached to him that seem to exist for no other reason than then to control him and control the narrative. It's easy to say in this space, like, oh, they were just a clone, or oh, they were fake, or oh, whatever it happens to be, and that's fine. I think that is legitimately true in a lot of cases. I'm not arguing with that, but have to be one or two like real people out there that get brutally murdered, right? Otherwise, what fun is the world? So
Yeah.
I genuinely, well, genuinely is a strong word, but I'm kind of leaning towards like super sad event. Yeah.
Okay. Drew, what do you think?
I think they planted something on him. I don't know if it was one of the little microphones, or maybe they swapped out his necklace, or did something that they had on him right under his shirt that exploded, like one of those kind of covert CIA kind of assassination things. The who's, why's, what's, when, where's. I'm not going to speculate because my brain is half fried at the moment. But I think that is the, what we witnessed on camera. That's what that was.
Okay. So here's where I'm at with it. So firstly, you have to ask yourself, why are we here? Why is anybody speculating anything at all, right? It's because the source is not trustworthy. The government is not trustworthy. So when the government wants to get mad about people not believing their narratives, they should do a little self-reflection and be like, well, there's a reason why people run off with it, is because we can't be believed. And for whatever road you want to take that, whether it's the clones or that he got killed or who he got killed by or didn't get killed, whatever, all of these things stem from they are not trustworthy. Most people don't believe what the government says, so they begin to speculate and look at things themselves, and then they come up with their own theories. This is happening because they are not trustworthy. That's why. But that said, what I think is that they killed him, and what they tried to do went sideways, whatever it was. I'm not entirely sure I know all of the ins and outs, but if it was planned, it didn't happen the way they wanted it to happen. There was something that went wrong. The way that he was killed, I guess they thought that there wasn't going to be any video because they could run around and get all of the SD cards out, which means that they were going to be able to just tell people what happened. The guy that jumped out, the second he got shot, the old guy in the front row that starts screaming, "I did it, I did it." Do you know about that?
Yeah.
The security cops dragged him out, but then supposedly he had nothing to do with it. He was like a decoy or a distraction.
Mr. Boston Marathon bombing.
Exactly. I was just going to
yeah,
say he's been at other things
Other
like
psyops,
this.
yeah.
He's been at other places. That same guy has been at other places like this. So
Crisis actor, yeah.
again,
And
you could
Didn't they
you
find
could,
child porn on him afterwards? After this? Something like
right,
that?
of course. Well, they
Yeah.
always do when they want to pin
of
something
course.
on you. Isn't that a thing?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. It
Yeah.
should be. Why not?
But I mean, the point is that to me, it looks like there was an op that happened. It went sideways, and you can see some of it transpire just by paying attention to what happened after. If you just pay attention to what happened after, none of it would be organic. There's not going to be some old guy that was at other tragedies that jump up to distract everybody and go. And this is just one thing, by the way. Like, there's other things we could point to, but automatically out the gate, just go, I did it, I did it. When in any reality is that going to happen organically? Just some weirdo that's been at other tragedies jump up and say, I did it when he didn't do it, right? When is that ever going to happen? It's not. That's not going to happen. And then, the way that he was killed and the fact that they went and took all the SD cards makes me lean towards that whatever was supposed to happen to take him out didn't happen the way that they planned it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Do I sound like a crazy
Yeah.
person?
No, I mean your talk about, like, why are people even questioning this to begin with? I think that's the most rational thing I've heard tonight. Like, of course, people are questioning it because the source is incredible. Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Okay. One more time on the way out. I don't know who's going to do it, Carson or John, but tell everybody where they can find you.
So we're the Veritas Road. You can find us everywhere at the Veritas Road. Veritas is Latin for truth, Veritas. We're there on all the socials, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, Instagram, except on Twitter we're the Veritas Road Pod because our old account got nuked. And you can find us at a minimum every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, where we have our Touch Me Tuesday stream on YouTube, Rumble, and X, where we talk about the things that touch me that week. And hopefully we can touch you too. And I've got to remember to ask John. John, I forgot to ask you what touched you this week. So hopefully something touches you this weekend, because hopefully we can hear about it next week. Anyway, yeah, that's where you can find us.
All right, good. Everybody go follow them. It's actually one of the shows that I turn on while I'm doing stuff. It's not that bad. Now listen,
High praise.
I got 2 more of these for next week. We're gonna do one next week and then the one the week after. So
I'll take it.
I'm gonna disqualify you soon. If you want to try to win them next week, that would be the time. $2 and you can get in the raffle. All right, Drew, how are you feeling, dude?
I'm feeling like I need another pain pill right now, but I feel good. I feel better than I felt in the last 4.5 days. So thank you, gentlemen, for the distraction and the entertainment.
Okay. Just for anybody that didn't catch it, Drew had surgery, and we're requesting prayers for his fast recovery. So if you have a moment, please do that for him. All right. That was the shit show. You guys have a good night.